Okay, so I think we're ready to go here. I've got my sock monkey cup, my favorite sock monkey cup, my lights, everything's good, I think. All right. Hey everyone, I'm Daddy Sam, and you are tuned in to A Touch of Gay, episode 54 for the 12th of April, 2026. Today we're discussing a new once daily pill for HIV patients who have become resistant to the modern one-day pills. We are also talking about a little bit of wisdom from Marianne Williamson. Also, it's time to start verifying our news that we post and repost on social media. A lot of things going on out there that aren't real news. And, well, we don't want to be fake news, right? And, of course, we're going to be touching on leather scene news. So let's get right to it. A Touch of Gay is my weekly check-in with you, where we go over the things that are going on at the LGBTQ fishbowl that I find myself in, my kitchen table, which is why we used to call it Kitchen Table Talk, now A Touch of Gay. So if you haven't tuned in a few weeks, a little bit of a change has happened now. We have A Touch of Gay is our new website. It's our new podcast name. It is the new handle on all of our social media. And on our social media, A Touch of Gay Pod is the handle on all channels. We have our daily inspiration that comes in the form of a meme, as well as pictures of what I'm up to. And, well, there's a lot going on this weekend that we'll get to in a moment. But our daily inspiration, I like to share one of those with you each week. And the one today is simply this: your playing small does not serve the world. Now, this is part of a larger quote from Marianne Williamson, who, if you don't know who she is, it's a long story. Google her. She's a very inspirational figure, but I'll read the larger quote. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. And that is a direct quote from Marianne Williamson. I struggle with this one personally, and maybe a lot of us out there do. When I was young, when I was a kid, I was just bursting with energy and creativity. And I wanted to be colorful. I wanted to strive. I wanted to be liked. I had a lot of color to offer the world, which is why I got made fun of a lot for being a faggot or being gay or being whatever they used to call me, right? And so one of the first defense mechanisms that I learned when I was young was to keep that inside. Don't put that out there. And I did a lot of things. I sang a choir, I played piano, and I performed a lot in different music contests, shows, recitals, that sort of thing. And I was very good at it. Invariably, I tended to be close to the top in any of the different places that I would be. And my parents used to say, you're really good, but you need to, don't act that way, right? Don't be belligerent. Don't be arrogant. It makes other people feel less than if you flaunt your stuff too much. All of that combined with the defense mechanism of hiding the things I really wanted to say and do as a gay person, being a little child and figuring out who I was, developed into this struggle that I still have as an adult today, which is I really want to express myself. I want to be colorful. I want to really put what I feel inside out there. And of course, if you're watching me on YouTube, you can see that I'm doing that quite colorfully today. So I've gotten over most of it, but that's why I love this comment, this quote from Marianne Williamson, because what it talks about is for us to fully become who we are, to be comfortable in our own skin. At some point, we need to get over the fear of offending other people. We need to get over the fear of outshining other people, because if we're shiny, damn it, don't dull your shine. You deserve that. God gave you that. We are given talents. We are given a song to sing in our life. And if we hold back on that because we're afraid that we're going to make other people feel less than, or that we're going to overfly the runway, so to speak, we're not doing the world a favor by that. And that's just a tough thing for a lot of people to get their head around. And it's been one for me. So yeah, Marianne Williamson, she's got a lot of wisdom. I love to listen to her speak. I've been to one of her local appearances here some years back, and it was just very inspirational. She's a spiritual leader. She's an inspirational leader as far as self-help motivation, spiritual connection, things like that. She ran for president a couple of cycles back as well. Didn't get very far in the Democratic primary, but she was able to get her platform elevated just a little bit in that way. So with that, we're going to move on and check in. It is Leather Weekend here in Phoenix, Arizona, where I live, which is I'm previewing my outfit for tonight for the Mr. Anvil Leather Contest. And so if you're watching us on YouTube, you'll see what I'm wearing. This is a brown suede leather bar vest, which is actually patterned after the Mr. S leather bar vest, the Berlin style, and two-tone brown armbands that are made from the same leather as this vest. I made this. I'm actually not plugging a brand here today. This is a vest that I made myself because I have this leather Stetson that I absolutely love. I have matching brown boots. I have a matching brown belt, and I always wanted a vest and armbands that I could wear with that. So not really being able to find exactly what I made, I had been learning to sew, and I finally ventured out and decided to make some leather items, and lo and behold, it worked out quite well. So I am proud to sport my own creativity here. Yeah. So Leather Weekend. One of the great things about Leather Weekend, at least this one here in Phoenix, is they have brought in people from out of town to be judges. And I'm talking about big figures in the leather community. Billy Lane, who has been a fixture at the IML, one of the first trans people that competed at IML a long time ago. There's been plenty since. He is also on the board of the Leather Archives Museum in Chicago. And so he's here in town as one of the judges, and he's someone who I've gotten to know over the last couple of years. I wouldn't say we're besties, but we are friends, and he is a wealth of knowledge and history in the leather community. And he brought his boy Alex with him, who competed at IML in previous years, handsome young man. And also Honey Davenport and the pup Hades are also here in town. Honey Davenport recently crowned Mr. Palm Springs Leather last fall. He is going to be one of the judges as well. So it's kind of a big deal here in Phoenix to have all of these high profile leather personalities here in town, and they're all fun, good people to hang around and sort of chum up with. Yeah, so that's my weekend. I am recording on a Saturday, so we're not dropping our podcast on YouTube until Saturday night. And so probably the first people to see this, I will literally be at the contest tonight watching it myself. And I hope to have some reporting on that on our podcast next week. And so let's get into a little bit of a political, social conversation, because something that has always been in the news, and most adults know this, people that grew up and came into the world before social media really took off, we need to start verifying the memes that we post and repost and make sure that they're real, that they're not fake news. And I know that sounds daft in a way because, duh, anybody knows that. But as we're starting to get into the shit show that's going on in Washington and our world right now, we have a president right now that virtually anything goes. There isn't very much that you could see posted about him or posted about what he says or does, or really anyone in the administration right now that's not immediately unbelievable, right? I mean, just about anything goes. So when we see memes of the president said this, the secretary of X, Y, and Z said that, they did this, it's very easy to just see it, no matter how outlandish it is, to just post it, to repost it. Or when somebody posts it on Facebook or maybe one of the other platforms, it's really easy to just see it, get angry, oh my gosh, and start getting into a debate and getting into the weeds about it. I see it happen every day. But here's the thing. A lot of these that I see, the president said this, maybe it's a screenshot of the president's Truth Social post, or it's a screenshot of somebody else's post. Not all of these things are true. No matter how much we want to believe badly about one of these political figures, or no matter how low of an opinion we have of them, it's still important to make sure that what we're reading is true, no matter especially if it sounds, what, that couldn't have happened. Because there are a lot of things out there right now that are true, that are unbelievable, but there's a lot of things I'm just seeing right now, and it's just, what really hurts me is when I see people I know and respect getting into an argument on these things and following these things into the rabbit hole. And it's like, did you even Google this to make sure it's true before you started making a fool out of yourself? And that's really where I'm coming at on this. Don't make a fool out of yourselves by reposting a meme that you see just because it maybe fits your perspective and it makes you look good and see, this is what I've been saying. Make sure it's true before you do that. That's all I'm saying. Google it. Go to one of the big news sources that are real news where they actually vet this information. Do a search. Associated Press is a good place if there's certain channels you don't necessarily want to follow, whether it's blue, red, purple, whatever, a podcast. Don't believe everything you hear, even if I'm saying it. It's helpful to Google these things and make sure that these stories are true before you start going out on a limb to either post it, repost it, or argue with people about it. Yeah, but y'all need to start doing that because I'm seeing a lot of it lately. And as we get into an election season, it's only going to get worse before it gets better. Watch yourselves out there. Be smart. Yeah. And speaking of smart, on a health topic, I want to talk about a story that I saw on NPR, which I do consider a pretty credible source. As someone who has been a journalist for the past couple of decades, I have learned to always confirm stories before I bring them out, before I talk about them, before I bring them to you. And so NPR is where this is featured. The link is in the show notes if you want to dig further into it. There is a new 1 tablet a day HIV medication being tested by Gilead that is for what's known as the forgotten population. And so a lot of you out there might be saying, well, I already have a 1 pill a day HIV medication. That's already out. We've had that for years. Well, if you're someone who had gotten HIV back in the 80s or the 90s, almost every single medication that's come along has been tried on you. Because of that, the HIV that those people carry has become resistant to a lot of different medications. And what that means is there are a lot of people who have what they call the legacy HIV patients who have been on various medications over the years. They still have to take regimes that have multiple tablets, multiple pills, because a lot of the new 1 tablet a day medications that are popular right now don't work for them. Gilead, recognizing this, has been testing a new 1 pill a day that combines, I hate these medication names. I work in a pharmacy too. You'd think I could do this. Bictegravir and lenacapavir. This is a combination of those 2 drugs that Gilead makes that is going to be in a new tablet. They say is smaller than a multivitamin. So that's a good thing. They expect to submit it to the U.S. government for approval in the near future. So there's not a date definite, but this is good news for what's known as the forgotten population. It's just something I wanted to share with you because we need hope living in this world that we live in right now. This is a pretty scary place to live in. And because of that, whenever I get good news like this that can maybe brighten somebody's day and give them hope that things are going to get better, I like to try to share it with you. And so with that, we're going to move on to leather news. And I just have a couple of tidbits. I have 2 title holders here I want to share about. Newly titled at Berlin, Mr. Fetish Berlin 2026. Congratulations, Alexander. They just do it different in Europe. It's almost like it's the real deal. I mean, here in the States, it's the real deal too. But something about when you see the Leathermen from Europe, it's just, oh, wow. And I see them every year at IML, and they just do it differently. They just put a different focus on it. It just feels a little bit more hardcore. But this gentleman, I want to congratulate Alexander, also known as Stompy on Instagram, Werepup Stompy. You can see that on the screen if you're watching this on YouTube. You can also see it in the show notes, a real live link down there if you'd like to follow him on Instagram. Hopefully he will be coming to a future IML to compete. And that gets me to our next person, Mr. London Leather 2025, Galen. Now, he was already titled in last year's contest, another handsome man from the UK. And the reason I'm speaking about him today is because he made an announcement on his Instagram in the last week or so that he has made a very difficult decision that he is not coming to the United States to compete in IML, even though that is the normal process of these things. When you get a major local or regional title, you're then able to go to IML and compete for the big one. Well, because of everything going on in the world, because of what's happening here in the United States in our political construct, he didn't feel comfortable coming here. And he's got his own reasons. And it really made me emotional. It breaks my heart when I see stories like this, that our country has become a place where people around the world either don't want to come here because they're not happy with the way we're behaving around the world, or they're afraid to, or a combination of both. Because the country where I grew up always used to be a place where, yes, there was the term ugly Americans back in the 50s and 60s and 70s, when arrogant Americans would go to other places in Europe and around the world and just sort of run roughshod and act like they were God's gift to humanity. And that term came up, but it's different now. I mean, we have hurt other countries in a tangible way, and countries that used to be our friends. So that a person from the UK would look at everything going on and say, I don't really think I'm going to have to go there this year. It breaks my heart. And I was able to reach out to him and share that. And we had a kind exchange. He can come back next year and compete for 2027. So I really hope, Galen, that things change somehow in the world. But part of the calculus for this might not just be his fears or his concerns for his own safety, or maybe he's got just some philosophical bones with the way our country is behaving. But there's also the recent story of Milo Mills, who is a gay porn star who, trying to come in from Canada, got stopped at the border. He was flagged. They went through all of his stuff and accused him of being a prostitute, and they banned him from coming to the United States for 10 years. The border agents are searching people's phones. They're looking for any reason to deny them entry. They're looking for any reason to put a ban on them and to flag them in the system. And there has been a lot of rumblings out there about LGBTQ plus people being singled out at the border because of the mindset of our government right now, looking for reasons to deny them entry, and again, maybe even reasons to detain them for other things, and dig deeper into their phones, dig into their suitcases, and that sort of thing. So in the backdrop of stories like Milo Mills, who, as I said, I will dig into that and see if it's something we can talk about more in detail. I literally just got the link for this story today, and it's just scary. And so I don't blame anyone who would be afraid to come here to the United States, or just wouldn't want to deal with it. And last year, we did have a few people that were from other countries who chose not to come and compete. And I expect this year, with the political situation being the same, and with now that we're out there just blowing up other countries for seemingly the fun of it, for no logical, tangible reason, I would say there's probably going to be a few more people besides Galen who are going to decide not to come, and that just makes me sad. It makes me sad. So Folsom Street East is our event that we're featuring this week. It's on June 21st, which is a Sunday, 11 to 6 p.m. in Manhattan, 27th Street between 11th and 12th Avenues. If you've watched Instagram, and if you're part of the gay community, you know what Folsom Street Fair is. Just look at the pictures. It's a street fair for kinky folk. Men, women, transgender, all forms of kink. It is a show for the eyes. It's a lot of fun. I've been to Folsom, San Francisco, and this is the one that you can go to in New York if going to San Francisco is just too much of a haul. Tickets are available right now. This, unlike the one in San Francisco, you do have to buy tickets. FolsomStreetEast.com is their website. That's on the screen if you're watching us on YouTube, in the show notes. If you're listening to us on the podcast, check it out. There's a lot of detail about the event itself, as well as all of the surrounding events, because even though this is only a one-day fair, usually the weekend that these fall, there's parties, there's circuit parties, there's all sorts of events at a lot of the local venues in town that you can go and be a part of, where all of the people are in town for this. So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun if you're part of the leather fetish kink crowd, regardless of your sexual identity. So Folsom Street East, check it out. I hope to be there someday. I always say that about our events, especially ones that are in June, because after IML, money is spent, vacation time is spent. I just need a few weeks to get back on my feet. Stop walking funny, if you know what I'm saying. So we don't have any viewer comments this week. I'm actually going to move that segment to a once a month so that we actually have some good comments that we can talk about. This is why we didn't cover it last week, and that's why we're not covering it this week. But I encourage you to leave your comments on our YouTube channel Or if you're listening to us on a podcast, please send me an email, daddysam@atouchofgay.com. And atouchofgay.com is our new website address. If you enter the old growingoldergay.com, it'll still get you to the same place. If you try to use my old email, sam@growingoldergay.com, it still works, but we're migrating everything over to our new website identity, A Touch of Gay. And you will find that at atouchofgay.com. You'll find that on our Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky, as well as our YouTube channel. A Touch of Gay Pod is the handle there, because we're really focusing on our podcast. That's becoming our number one piece of content, in addition to all the little things that are going on out there. And if you are into streaming radio, gayphx.com has a streaming 24/7 radio station that's LGBTQ+. It is locally based here in Phoenix, but it covers content that really could be appealing anywhere you live. Our podcast airs every Monday at 10 a.m. And at 10 a.m. during the rest of the week, our best of episodes are playing. So I want to thank gayphx.com for supporting us in that way. This is a venture that I never thought I'd be doing a podcast. I never thought I'd be doing a lot of things in my life, quite frankly. I never thought I'd be doing a podcast in front of a camera wearing all of this. If you'd met me 10 years ago, that would have been a horrifying thought in any way, shape, or form. It goes to that Marianne Williamson comment, right? Holding back, hiding yourself, editing yourself down doesn't do the world any favors. And if I'm too loud for someone out there watching, if you don't like to hear what I'm talking about, that's okay. That's okay. You don't have to listen. You don't have to watch. You don't. But I really like it if you do. And if you are watching us on YouTube, you can see our latest video right there. You can subscribe to your YouTube channel right there. Please do. We need subscribers to really get this off the ground. And if you're on the podcast formats, anywhere you can get a podcast, please leave us 5 stars and a kind review. Either way, stay tuned.